Hi everyone, my name is Georgiana Haynes, and today we are doing our weekly ANTS Team Live training. We are talking about, um, we've sort of been talking mostly about business, but a little bit about life. These are our little get-togethers that we have weekly to brainstorm, to share motivation ideas, to celebrate each other's wins and successes, because you do want to keep that momentum going so that you're consistently building your business and growing and learning and expanding your reach, because that's kind of where it's at. You never ever want to stagnate. You never want to sit in the same place. And these weekly check-ins that we do, it's nothing official, but it's just something that we do to help keep each other accountable. We've got a little community going here where we check back in with each other each week. But yeah, so that's what we're doing here. So I want to welcome you guys. Thank you all for joining me. I Hopefully I'll be able to see your chat. I kind of have too many windows open, which is always the case. And then everything starts to sync. But let me turn off the volume on everything so that we get no interruptions. It's you, me, and the chat box. So if you don't know, if this is your first time here, we usually start off with what we call our wins for the week. So the things that we're celebrating that we've accomplished between last week's training session and this week's training session. So go ahead and get typing in the chat box below anything that you're celebrating, anything that you did that you just want to give yourself a pat on the back for, a little bit of a shout out for, because if you were with us at the beginning of the year or at the beginning of our journey together, you might remember that we always share the importance of stopping and taking the time to recognize ourselves for the things that we've achieved, and to just celebrate a little. So that's kind of what we do here. Hey Jessica, how are you? Gorgeous, good to see you. I can't wait for Rep Fest where I can see all of you guys. I miss all my family, my extended family, but um so let me see wins for the week for me. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I think like last week, sometime last week or the week before, I don't even remember anymore, but my car finally got working. I finally got my car working again. So I'm sort of getting back in the groove of my usual system with working my business. Had a chance to get out and meet up with a couple of customers this week, planning another get together for this month. So there's a lot happening this month, these next 2 weeks. I've got some things going on in my personal life that are taking up like 95% of my time, but I'm not full steam ahead with my business and 100% yet, but I do feel myself getting back there. We've had some wonderful weather. So this past weekend, like I said, I was able to get out to connect with a couple more people. I did a bit of a book toss in my area, so I've got a couple of calls that came in from new customers. So it's always exciting to find new customers. And one woman that I spoke with was so excited because she was like, I found your book. I have been looking for Avon products for quite some time and I couldn't find anybody. So I wanted to, give you a call and connect with you. And the item that she wanted, I'm going to see if I can get it to her. But she was just so excited about the products. And I love when that happens, because a lot of times we can kind of get stuck in a rut where we might say, or, people are spreading these alternative facts and these non-truths. What was the other word? Alternative facts and half truths or alternative truths, something like that. But people are always spending these things where it's like, oh, nobody wants to purchase our products anymore, or no one wants to do belly to belly business anymore. Everybody is shopping online, or people only want to use these top 5 brands. But there are people who love different products and love the customer service of getting, either face to face with someone or having a real person that they could talk to and speak with over the phone. And I just kind of had good conversation with this woman. She was really friendly and really sweet, and we never met, but I don't know, there was kind of a connection, which was nice. And she was so excited to just find another human being. She said, she found the book and called the number. She didn't know who she would get, but she was happy that she found me, and I'm looking forward to connecting with her. I mail brochures to my customers to just be more efficient so that they get their brochures more regularly when my life is lining up. But also to make better use of my time, so I'm not dropping off brochures, but I do occasionally get out into neighborhoods and drop off brochures. So I was excited to find a new customer in my area, and also excited to find someone else that I can help provide good service for, because it's nice to know that, you know, you find someone who's like, yeah, I've been looking for this, I'm so glad I found you. So that was my win for the week. I was happy to be able to connect with this woman and um, show her that we're still around, we're still alive and kicking. The products that she loves, she will be able to order still. She was really excited about that because it had been a while. She had lost her the location where she used to purchase products. So I was, you know, that was sort of my win. How about you guys? What wins are you celebrating? What have you accomplished this past week? I know we had Memorial Day last week, and so some of us were a little bit still in vacation mode this week. But I'm sure you guys are still working your business. I see you guys on social media. I also haven't been on social media as much as I would have liked to. But shout out again to those guys at Multibrain for hooking Avon up with that app to help us, the social media center, with scheduling our apps, because that has been a lifesaver for me. I haven't been able to, okay, second win for me, but I haven't been able to get onto social media the way that I would have liked, partially because I know myself, and when I do get on, it's just going to be an hour or 2 hours. So I had to kind of wean myself off these past few months so that I could focus on, you know, stuff that I need to actually get done. But social media is still a big part of our business, and I didn't want to completely disconnect myself. And thanks to Social Media Center, I didn't have to. I was able to still post, and, you know, I could still pop in, you know, when I'm on the train and I have a quick couple of minutes where I can, you know, check my social media, reply to people's comments and what have you. So I was really excited to see that I was able to keep my posts, you know, rolling out the same way. And I love that you can multitask, that Avon is providing tools for us to build our business on the go, so that when life does happen, our business doesn't just completely stop. So shout out to Multibrain, shout out to Avon for hooking us up with that. Jessica, she's got some wins that she's sharing. Girl, I miss you too. Uh, she says for 2 new spots, she got 15 new customers, and campaign 11, she was amazingly blessed. Yes, so good to hear. So good that you had a really great campaign 11. Personally, I am looking forward to campaign 14. Again, brand new fashion items that I'm looking forward to ordering. I did pick up some things this week. Hopefully, again, I'm behind on posts, but hopefully again this week, if not next week, probably next week though, it's looking like next week, I'll be able to share some of the posts with new products that I've purchased. But what do you guys think? What products are you guys most looking forward to? What products are you guys most excited about to have, to share with your customers and promote to other people? I always say that I am, yeah, my own best customer, but because of that, my customers get to see and experience products that they either didn't know that we had or wouldn't have noticed otherwise. And I know for sure when I meet other people in the field and I see them wearing stuff, you know, when we go to our events, we go to our Avon conference and we have our meetings, and they're wearing all the beautiful jewelry and clothing, I'm like, where did you get that from? Is that Avon? I didn't notice that in the brochure, and I need one for myself. Case in point. But what are you guys excited about? What are you loving? Oh, Jessica says she's loving the clothes, but not too happy with UPS. I swear it's like always a fight. My problem is always with the shipping companies that we have out here, but I actually love UPS, which is ironic, but it differs for all of us. Just get us our packages so we can have our little mini Christmas party as we open our box. It's gotten to be the point in my house at least where if like my sister's home and I'm opening the boxes, the both of us are in there like, oh, what's this? What's this? This is new, you know, and we're trying things out. One new product that I purchased, it's a little bit of a segue, just to give you a sneak preview of what I have to share with you. This is the a new Ultimate Gold peel off mask. I've had this for a while. I've been meaning to do a video, but I just haven't been able to set myself up and, you know, do the recording. But this is one of the products that I just purchased that I'm looking forward to trying. The fashion, as I mentioned earlier, is just so amazing. Jess, hopefully we'll get that worked out soon because we need our products. And that's the the funny thing, like how we are as representatives, yes, this is our business. So when we're like, we need our products, you kind of feel like, okay, well, it's their business, that's why. But when I connect with customers who's like, no, I need the products, I've been looking for a rep, that's just like, the affirmation that, yes, I love what I'm doing and other people love these products too. I'm not just some sort of crazy addict. But just says, with the mask, let it dry first. Okay. Yeah, usually me and masks, I am horrible. I'm that person who puts it on, forgets that I have it on, and they'll say, leave on for 15 or 20 minutes, and I'll be walking around the house for 45 minutes, like, wait, I was supposed to do something. What was? Oh, yes. So I have no problem leaving it alone. But yeah, I'm excited to try it because it's really beautiful. Um, I've been watching a couple of people try it online, and I mean, I've actually been using. I don't know if I have them, but you guys remember the sheet masks? Well, they're on sale. So I bought, I would like to say a couple, but I would be lying. I bought a lot. But I really liked it. These sheet masks, the brightening sheet mask is the one that I've really been loving. This is the one that I'll just slap on my face, and I will use regularly. It's just my go-to. I've shared with you guys that I have like acne marks and discoloration, so anything that says brightening, I'm in there, which is why I was excited to try the gold mask. But with the sheet masks, I don't know. I on the day where I do my mask, I come home, I open the box, I slap it on, and then I'm like, oh shoot, I wanted to try the gold mask. So that's why I haven't been posting that video yet. But Jess, thanks for the heads up. I will be sure to make sure that I let the mask dry properly first. I guess if it doesn't dry properly, you can't peel it off, but we shall see, and you guys will be a part of all of the shenanigans if anything gets crazy. But yeah, that's the other thing I have. I also have some of the new clay masks to try out. I've got a lot of stuff to try out for you guys. I need to get my life together, right? I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But yeah, Jess, I am excited about those masks. Also have a like a pore refining mask, a little bit of a brightening mask. So I'm looking forward to trying those. I am also one of those people who has multi-tones. I have a really, really oily T-zone, but I also have areas of my face that I want to brighten and like refine, smooth out my pores and stuff. So I like the idea of having a variety of masks that I can just pile on together. And I've really been seeing the trend picking up on social media as people, not everyone's skin is the same. So it's great to have options. And even within a person, not everyone's entire face is the same type of skin. So again, that variety of options is really helpful. So yeah, Jess, I am looking forward to trying all of the masks. I've got a lot. I don't know if you guys remember, but I had one of the Avon intensives, and they sent me a box of jewelry. Everything is still in the bag. So I'm one of these days, like hopefully the end of the month, maybe when things kind of cool down in life, I can just go through everything and share it all with you, because I've been really excited about all of this stuff and I just haven't had a chance, and it's killing me. But it's me. I put too much on my plate. But I'm doing the opposite of what. No, I've taken what I'm going to talk to you guys about today to the extreme. So it's not the opposite. It's what I'm going to talk about, but to a crazy level. So we're going to talk about finding some middle ground. So as I mentioned, if you guys found this link through my post on Facebook to the groups or to my page, tonight we're going to be talking about putting all of your eggs in one basket, and some of the ways that you can diversify a variety of things. So we're going to be talking all about variety tonight. So tonight's chat actually comes up because I was talking to a friend this past weekend, and he was talking to me about his company losing a main client that they had. He's not in my profession. He's not in our profession. He's in a different field. But as I always say to you guys, it's really important to talk to and connect with people from a variety of professions and fields, because you, I know, right, Jess? Because you learn so much. And in my conversation this weekend, it triggered a thought to me. So he was sharing with me that his company had a huge client that I don't know if it was a loss or if the contract was up, but they got to the point where their work with that client was over. And now they're kind of in that period where it's like, okay, what do we do? We've got to maybe let a couple of people go. We've got to reevaluate our finances and our spending. So, whenever, hey, Milagros, thank you for joining us. So, whenever you have, say, like one client and all of your focus is on that client, when that deal, that contract, that client's business is up, you have this period where it's like, oh wait, I have to go out and I have to find other clients. Even within my company, in my firm, in my day job, which is architectural design, we had a main client years ago, probably before I joined, like right before I joined the company. We had a huge client. All of our work came from that one client, and something happened. There was a change in the time, and because of that change, that client shifted, and all of those contracts either ended or closed or what have you. And then all of a sudden, there was this period where it was like, wait, okay, everything that we were working on was from that one person or that one business, that one entity. And now we don't have anything to work on. Again, we have to evaluate, are we going to let employees go? Are we going to, how do we find new work? How do we find new clients? How do we keep ourselves alive until we do find another client to keep us afloat? And then again, yesterday I was talking to another friend, and we were having the same conversation again, where at her job, same thing happened. The company had a huge client. That project either ended or closed, or it wrapped up, and they had to say to her, we're really sorry, but we have to let you go. And she was one of the employees who got chopped. But she was also, in talking to the owners of the company, she realized that they had also been they had actually left. There was a bit of a gap between when that client left and when they let her go. They were trying to stay afloat while they could find new business, but the in that time, they ended up taking out loans and putting themselves into debt, which is something that you really don't want to do if you can avoid it. But it turns out that they weren't able to supplement that income in order to find more work to be able to keep all the employees that they had. So there were these three cases, and just so happened it was like 3 days back to back. I was having this conversation about, when you work with one client and you have one main source of income, and basically all your eggs are in one basket, and it is dangerous. So with the examples that I've just showed you, you've seen the what can happen as a result of having all your eggs in one basket. And even the term, when you think about it, if all of your eggs are in one basket and you drop that basket, most likely all of your eggs are broken. You're in a pickle. So one of the things that I love about our business, most of us here, we have a side hustle, and that is great. So already, hopefully, you've diversified by adding onto your day job or another part-time job, an additional source of income. So I love that our business gives us that opportunity to supplement our income. And if you're watching this and you haven't thought of a side hustle, this is the time to think of it, because you really do want to have what we call a plan B for this very reason. When you um when you plan out your life, like when we are talking about stocks and finances, people always talk about diversifying your portfolio. Basically, it's saying to put all your eggs in different baskets. So if one basket does drop or one basket falls behind, or if there's an issue in one area, all of your eggs aren't completely destroyed and totaled. So you want to basically give yourself something to fall back on. When you have all your eggs in one basket, you don't have anything to fall back on. You have no cushion. So if plan A is your only plan and plan A doesn't work out, then you either have to start from scratch or you have to spend your time, crucial, valuable time, where you don't have anything to support you, looking for something that will. In the meantime, you have bills to pay, you have foods that you would hopefully like to be able to eat. There are demands on your income, and you do want to have something to support you in the interim. So that's where your plan B comes in. So For us, it's our side hustle. If you don't have a side hustle, I strongly encourage you to get one, because I can tell you, even when within my life, knowing that I've had a plan B has saved me many times. As you guys probably have heard my story, when I graduated from college, I was in the middle of the recession. They were not hiring in my profession, but I did have my business. It just happened to be with Avon products that, instead of me going into a totally different field and, doing temp jobs in something else, my friend said to me, what about this Avon? You make money with that, right? And I said, yeah, I do. I could look into. I mean, I was more skeptical at the time, but I said, okay, yeah, this is something that generates income. Let me see what I could do with this thing that I've already been working on, and see if I could maximize my return. At the time, I was doing a few sales. I did have a little bit of income coming in, but I wasn't really working the business as a business. For the most part, it was basically borderline a hobby. I wasn't as serious about it as I should have been, because I didn't realize its full potential. But at that moment, I said, okay, let me turn this up a notch. And I can tell you, I maybe had probably less than 3 months in savings to live off of at the time, and I was able to stretch that going all the way into 9 months. And even through when I did pick up a little part-time job, I still had that income coming in from my side hustle. And there have been times that part-time job that I picked up to pull myself out of that didn't last forever, but I can tell you, I had made I had made the decision at that point to say, you know what, I never want to be in a place again where, if my internship or my full-time job or whatever falls apart, that I don't have anything to fall back on, that I'm starting from scratch again. So I said I always want to keep my side hustle at a point where it was generating enough income, or as much income as it could actually, but as much income as I could with that side hustle, so that if my plan A did fall apart, I would have my plan B. And like I said, sure enough, that job that I had picked up, that I was working part-time, it did end up where the project that I was hired for was completed. But at the end of it, I wasn't like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? Because I was like, you know what? I kind of saw this coming. I was prepared for it, and I was building up my plan B. I started to put a few eggs in a different basket, so that when this basket cracked and fell to pieces, I still had, a little something something squirreled away. So by diversifying your eggs, you give yourself some cushion, something to fall back on. It also gives you that flexibility, because you know that when things don't bend, they crack. So you want to have something that gives you that flexibility, so that when things go against the way that you want them to, or are different, on a different road or a different plan than you were prepared for, you can flex with it and move and continue going forward. You don't want your plans to crack and fall to pieces and crumble. You want to have that flexibility. And again, like I said, there were times where maybe I didn't plan to be out of a job. I mean, no, most people don't, but I was able to say, you know what, it's okay, because I've got my little side thing. I can just, go with the flow and move back into that. So I was able to keep going and keep moving forward. At the time, I was paying off my student loans. So I didn't have to have that period where I said, okay, you know what, I'm out of work. I've got to stop payment, incur fees, or late charges for not making those payments. For example, I was able to continue and just kind of roll with the waves, ride the punches, whatever whatever you call it. But I was able to keep going and not have to borrow, put myself deeper into debt, or incur any fees. So the flexibility that it gives you is super important as well. But also a way out. It gives you options. You never want to be in a position where you don't have any options. Again, going back to my day job with architectural design, you guys will notice that whenever you're in a building, usually there are two exit signs. If it's a huge space, you'll see at least two exit signs. Why? Because if something happens with one exit, you want to be able to get out of the other door. It's a safety. It's for safety, it's for security, it's for your well-being, for your health and wellness. It is a good thing to have more than one option. When you go out to eat, you don't, you walk into a restaurant. If the restaurant owner said, okay, we've only got this one thing tonight, you're kind of just like, oh, well, what if I wasn't in the mood for that? Or, you know, what if I kind of want something else today? I've got to get up and go to a completely different restaurant. And even then, if that's the only restaurant in your area, then you're like, crap, what do I do now? I don't have any options. So you see the ways that options are really helpful to you and beneficial. We love to have options. Options are a good thing. The more options you have, the better, because again, it gives you a second way out. Your side hustle gives you that as well. So when you have, for example, your day job, I have met many, many people who hate with a passion their day job. They hate what they do. They hate getting up every morning and going. They hate being there. They hate leaving in the evening knowing that they've got to come back the next day. And me, I feel like it sucks the life out of you. You guys know these people. I'll give you an example. Um, I have someone that I work with, an associate, who is the most kindest, most wonderful, most she's just a pleasure to work with. She's upbeat, she's energetic. She talking to her gives me energy. If I'm having a bad day and she calls, just hearing her voice, the light and airiness in her voice just kind of gives me a pickup. And I remember one day she said to me, I was visiting her office, and she said, look around. Do you see anything? Everything in here belongs to the company. She said, the company that she works for, the people can be horrible. She's seen them mistreat people. She's seen um, pretty negative things happen, right? And I said to her, well, how can you stay so positive? And she was like, because everything that you see here is not mine. The only thing that I have here is my purse. You guys know that meme with I can never remember her name, but she is such a great actress. But there's a meme online of a woman just kind of taking up her handbag, rolling her eyes, and kind of walking away. This woman said to me, she was like, anything happens in here, they, act the fool. They decide to mistreat me. If they decide that they don't need me anymore and they want me to go, all I need to do is pick up my handbag and I'm out of here. And that feeling for her, she's not letting them stress her out. She's not letting them give her anxiety. They're not running up her blood pressure and giving her ulcers. She is just so amazing and carefree because she's not letting the pressures of the workforce change her outlook, because things get crazy, she's gone. She's out of there. She has that flexibility. She has options. She's not at a point where that is her only source, that's her only plan A. She doesn't have all of her eggs in one basket. If that basket cracks, she's on to the next one. She's not even looking back. She's got no remorse, no stress about it. She just needs her handbag and she's gone. On the flip side, I have another person that I work with. This person runs up my blood pressure. When they call, I am like, oh, yeah, you again. Okay, what is it this time? They will call 3, 4, 5 times a day, sometimes every 15 minutes. What is it now? Where is it? Did you hear? What's going to happen next? What do we do next? I don't get this. I need someone to explain this to me. This is really important. Did you do this? Did you mail that? Did you call this? Did you email this? You told me on the last call that you sent me an email, but I didn't get it yet. I'm here and I'm waiting. Oh, wait, there it is. Okay, I got it now. Okay, bye. I'm calling you back because I saw this email that you just sent and I have a question about it. And I'm just like, woosah? What is it? No, woosah, woosah. Why? This person shared with me that this is their only source. This is basically all their eggs are in that one basket. And they live their life terrified that it will crack. That any, slight change in the breeze, any person's change of mood, the change in the weather, like any little thing causes them so much stress and anxiety because everything that they have depends on this one thing. And I'm like, dude, you need to have a plan B. You cannot live this way. Not only are you running up your own blood pressure and killing yourself, you're now stressing me at this point, and we can't have that. So when you see the difference in options, you get to decide, who do you want to be? Do you want to be my friend who has just got her purse and is ready to go at the drop of a dime, doesn't care? I mean, she cares about her job, she loves it, but like she likes what she's doing, but she's not stressed out about it? or do you want to be the person who gives everyone around them the anxiety and, is just seeping stress to everyone that they come in contact with, to the point where other people avoid that person because they know the level of frustration that this look at me that this person causes. you know you decide which one do you want to be. That is what options gives you. Options gives you flexibility. It gives you confidence. And even for me in my job, like I said, with that first job, that when I knew that it was going to be over, I was sad about it because I liked working there, but I also said, but you know what? I am, and I think my employer at the time was kind of like thrown off, and I was like, it's okay. Call me when you need me. I'll be good. Because they felt like, okay, is this Georgiana's only resource? Is Georgiana depending 100% on this? And because I was able to say, no, I'm not, and they understood that, we actually were able to keep a good relationship going, and we still did stay in touch. And I was able to, move in and out working there because I always had options. So I see the chat box rolling. Uh, Clarissa, you are special, and Milagros knows that. That's why she shares. um, yeah, Misty says she knows people like that too, and it's like, stop, take a breath, and relax. Exactly, Misty. I'm like, breathe in, breathe out. Where are your priorities? That you cannot run around like the sky is falling all the time, right? So I'm glad you guys get this. So you guys know there are people in your life that are on both ends of this extreme, right? You know these people. So decide for yourself, which one of these people do you want to be? So let's talk about it. Like I said, having a side hustle gives you a great opportunity to diversify your income, but it also does. There are some other things that I want you to think of when it comes to having your eggs in multiple baskets. So first and foremost, side hustle. You have your main source of income, you have something that you're doing on the side to fall back on, a plan B to give you that flexibility and those options. Just something that you've gotten to a point. And when I say have your side hustle on the side, I don't want you to think of it as a hobby. It's got to be to a point where you can legitimately fall back on it. Trust me, if you are jumping from, say, when we were kids, I don't know if you guys did this, but when we were kids, we would jump off the couch onto the floor. So you can have like a blanket, which is about this much cushion. You feel it in your ankles when you jump. You got to do like a drop and roll when you do that, right? Or you can have like a cushion that's like padding. So when you jump, you could do a belly flop, you can fall on your back, whatever it is, you're not going to hurt yourself because the cushion is enough to actually catch you. So you want to build your side hustle into a real cushion, not a pretend cushion. You want it to be able to keep you afloat, to protect you in case you were to fall. You want it to be padded enough so that if you do drop your eggs will be okay. You don't want to have like I don't know, a sheet of paper, because if your eggs fall on this, chances are they're gonna break. You want to have, I want even more padding than that. Padding. If you drop your eggs on this, they're probably gonna give a little bit of a bounce. It might crack when it lands on the floor, but if you have enough of this spread out in an area where they have like, thick cushioning throughout, your eggs will be okay. So you want to build your side hustle to not be this, but to be more like this. So you got to be serious about it. You've got to be working it on the side, and also not just wait until that moment where you're like, oh crap, I need my side hustle. You want to be building up ahead of time. So you're not like the stories where I shared earlier, where everybody was relying on this one person, and then as soon as it was over, they were scrambling to try to figure out what they were going to do. You want to have something on the side where you can give yourself a gradual transition. I always talk about with my team the importance of having a 6-month emergency fund. Why 6 months and not 2 days? Because a 2-day emergency fund, yeah, it'll keep you 2 days. You get your Starbucks, you'll be okay, but you're still kind of in that panic mode. You've got 2 days to find a new job or to pay off whatever emergency bill that came your way. It's not real cushion. Wouldn't it be better if you had 6 months versus 2 days to find a new job or pay off that bill? The 6 months is this type of cushion. So that's what you want to aim for. So in the same way, I want you to kind of think of different ways that you can put your eggs in one basket. So having a side hustle is one. Having your emergency fund is another. But within your business, there are three other things that I want you to think of. One is having more than one customer, or customers in more than one location. So let's say, for example, all of your customers are your coworkers. For me, it's great, but it's also a bit of a danger zone. Why? What happens if your company goes belly up, or if your company decides to relocate or spread out, have that department broken up and moved to different areas? A lot of times now, people are working remotely. So what if all of your coworkers move into working remotely and they're all working from home? Anything can happen that can rattle that. So you want to have all of your customers not be all in one place. If you're at a school or a business, or your neighborhood, you want to branch out and have customers that come from a variety of places. A few years ago in our area, and same thing for your team, you want to have teammates from a variety of places as well. A few years ago, we were hit by Hurricane Sandy in the New York City area, and some of the areas were really devastated. It was unfortunate and horrible. People lost cars, people lost homes. The damage was, ridiculous. We weren't prepared for it. And it's an act of God. There's nothing you can do about it. But for those of us, for at that time we had districts. So for our district was actually in an area that was really hard hit by the hurricane. So a large percentage of the people in the area were relocated. Couldn't go to work because they had lost their car. The train systems were also down, so that was something else to deal with. But all of these factors came in and affected the numbers for the business. People weren't buying because they were repairing their homes. People weren't selling because they were focused on preparing their homes. But the disaster caused not just the devastation from the storm, but there was residual devastation for a couple of months. Well, people put themselves back together. So if all of your eggs were in this one area that was hit by this hurricane, you've got a problem. But if you've got one egg here, one egg there, one egg somewhere else, at least the other eggs would have been able to function while, this area could work on repair. Misty says 4 months ago, in 4 months into her Avon business, she started to build her cushion. She now has 10 regular customers, and one day she'll have 100 customers. Awesome, Misty. Great way of looking at it. But make sure the customers you're building are not all in one place. Make sure they come from different places. They are different age groups. They are, from different communities, from different professions. They have different jobs, different businesses, and are from different neighborhoods. I can tell you for myself, when I first started, a lot of my customers were older, and I had a time in my business where my sales plummeted, and it was because I didn't diversify. I had found a comfortable cushion. I like Misty said, okay, I've got a couple of customers. They order regularly. I'm getting my orders from them. This is great. And I wasn't really looking for other customers as hard as I should have been, because this group of people were putting in their orders. But unfortunately, a couple of them passed away. A few of them retired and their income changed, so they weren't spending as much. And a couple of them relocated, moved to Florida, moved down south, or to warmer, more wonderful weather, and left me here in the cold. But I had to reevaluate my business and say, okay, it kind of hit me. It wasn't like one day and a change, but I really started to see this downward spiral, and I said, wait, what's happening here? And I looked at what was happening with my customer base, and I said, okay, I've got to find new customers. But if I had anticipated that from the beginning and just was consistently finding new customers, all the time, if I was asking those customers for referrals to grow my customer base, then I wouldn't have been as hard hit, you know? So yeah, awesome. Great job, Misty. Keep building and make sure that you build strong. So the next thing that you want to do to help diversify or spread out your eggs is to take advantage of every single earnings opportunity. Again, here in our business, we have two really great opportunities: sales and leadership. You want to make sure that you're taking advantage of both. Why? You don't want all your eggs to be in sales, and you don't want all your eggs to be in leadership. Um, like I said, same situation with my sales. I think at that point I had just started to build up my leadership business. It wasn't a huge, it wasn't enough to even offset my sales, but I was just planting the seeds. But I really appreciated when those extra checks were coming in to help me as I was now ordering more brochures and samples as I did my customer search process. In the same way, basically, that having a side hustle helps you, with your business, you can further diversify that side hustle. So within our business, we have customers. We also have the leadership program where we could start to generate residual income. And that gives you, again, two options. So you've got your plan A, your plan B, but now you've also had, plan B1 and plan B2. The more diversity, the better. I encourage people a lot of times, especially with new representatives, people will, hey Patty, thank you for joining us. People will feel like they want to just stick to sales or figure out, learn everything there is about sales before they jump into the leadership aspect of the program. Or with incentives, they feel like they need to be numero uno in both sales and leadership. They need to know everything before they could go and branch out and try something different. But again, the more eggs you have in a variety of baskets, the better. So work your sales business, build your customer base, work on your sales, but at the same time work on your leadership business. Why? God forbid something happens where your customers move or relocate or lose their jobs, or whatever. Things happen. It's unfortunate, but you can't plan for everything. At least you can have your leadership business bringing in some income on the side, and all of this will combine be a plan B to something else. But your leadership business, I can't tell you how many times um, my whether it was at my full-time job, if we were behind on checks, or if I had additional holidays and vacations, or if I was sick. Oh my gosh, earlier this year I had a month where I got sick, so I missed a day or two. I had to travel, so I missed another day, and then we had a holiday. So when I got my paycheck, I was like, where did all my money go? I budgeted for this, but I'm getting this. And thankfully, thank God, my Avon leadership came through and I was able, again, to not have to have late payments on any of my bills, or to skip payments, or call to stop payments, because my leadership checks were able to fill in and close that gap. So when I saw that happening, I was like, I'm so thankful for this, because my sales just maybe were not enough to close that gap, or maybe I needed to combine my sales and my leadership to get to where I needed to be. But if I didn't have that leadership, I don't even know what I would have done. I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to go there. So Jessica asks, how does your business grow or keep up when people are earning the trips? That is actually a really great question. For me, again, it's the eggs in one basket system. And Milagros, you could probably chime in on this too, because Milagros also earns a lot of the trips. I found for me, when I'm on the trips, there are, what I'm going to talk about next comes in handy, so I'm going to leave that alone for a minute. But for my sales, sometimes my sales will take a hit because either I'm not there to deliver, or I haven't been there to drop off a brochure. So my leadership earnings are super, super, like, I cannot tell you how essential my leadership earnings have become, because I know that, God forbid, knock on wood, if anything happens to me, whether it's illness or, you know, just the Avon vacation. Let's do Avon vacation because that sounds a lot better. But if it's a vacation where I am away, my team is still working, so my business is still moving. And that's kind of how you want to have any business. If you guys read Entrepreneur magazine, Money magazine, any type of magazine that talks about leadership or business, they will tell you that you want to get your business to a point where it can run without you being there. That's why when I coach my team, I try to coach them on where to find the information themselves, or, you know, where to find the classes, so that if God forbid something does happen to me, they can still connect with other teammates. They can still connect with Avon. They know where to get the trainings. They know where to find the information. They know they have the number for customer service so that they can reach out to customer service. They can manage their business independently of me. If they're holding my hand the whole time, or if I have to hold their hands, or if I have to do everything for them, it's not efficient for either of us. And a few years ago, I mentioned this before, but I always say I'm thankful for my old district manager, because she said to me, you know, I'm going to show you how to run this business on your own, so you don't have to depend on anyone else. She wasn't even my district manager at the time. She was just kind-hearted, always has been. But she showed me, you know, these are the numbers. If this happens, call this number. If this happens, call that number. If you want to find this information, go to this place online. And that way I was able to work my business in a way where I didn't have to, I mean, I didn't have an upline at the time, but I didn't have to rely on anyone else. So you know, the business does keep up for me, mostly because of the leadership aspect of the business, more so than my sales. But as I said, there's something else that I wanted to talk about. You can keep your sales running, and that comes from expanding the ways that you build and promote and grow your business. So for sales, Jessica, thank you for the wonderful segue. For sales, I have helped a lot of my customers transition to placing their orders online. Why? Because sometimes, I mean, ever since I've been with Avon, I've always done school and my business. So while I was in school, there were times where I maybe had finals or midterms where I was just like nose in the textbook, and my customers, if they placed an order, if they could get me on a hold of me on the phone, and if they were able to place their order, I maybe wasn't able to get it to them as fast as I would have liked to. I shared with you guys earlier, this year my car was out of commission. So the customers that I usually would drive to deliver to, I wasn't able to drive to deliver to them. But I did have my online website that I could share, so that they were able to place their order online, or they were able to call me and I was able to take their information by phone or walk them through how to, you know, where to go and what to click, how to find the website, so that they could successfully place their order. So even in that, you know, when you're thinking about diversifying, it's not just okay, plan A, plan B, sales and leadership. It's also how you function, how you run your business. Again, it's great when the business is able to continue either without you, or when, I hate to say it, but you know, crap happens. And crap happens all the time. But you know, there are things that happen: acts of God, illness, cars just they're completely dying on you. You don't want for everything to completely shut down when these, you know, minor disasters happen. So um think of the ways that you build and promote and grow your business. So, sales meetings, for example. I have met people who, when they first started, they had to go to the training center to pick up their brochure, to pick up their order. They had to bring in a paper order and fax it in, or physically hand it to someone to submit the order to the company for them, and they would pick up their boxes. When the in doing that, they got their information. They would meet with someone face to face. That person would say, okay, these are the new things that are happening. This is what's coming down the pipeline. And they were kind of fed that way, and they were reliant on that person to say, you know, hey, this is new, this is change, this is something that you have to watch out for, this is where you find your product number, this is the item number for that product. I mean, I met people who um have a business but have never placed their own order, didn't know how to do it. So when systems changed and you were no longer all going to one place to pick up your order, it was all of a sudden like, wait, you know, what is this? How do I function? What do I do? I've always done it this way. I never took the time to learn any alternatives. What do I do? And there was that a period where either they quit and gave up because it was too hard for them to make the transition, or they, lost time and money and energy trying to make that change after the fact. Um, with meetings, again, we've had so many changes. With that, you used to get your one-on-one consultation when you went to go pick up your order, and then we started to have group sales meetings where we all got together in a physical place. But now we're transitioning to virtual sales meetings, and I know people who will not do the virtual meeting, who just don't want to get into doing it. But guess what's happening? They don't know what's happening in the business anymore. They don't know what's new. They don't know unless they, can sit down and meet with someone, or unless someone picks up the phone and calls them and says, hey, this, and this are happening. They're completely out of the loop. They don't come to the virtual sales meetings. They're not checking emails. I'm thankful that Avon also sends us our little what's new. So this is super old, but if you're a reader, you can at least flip through and see what's happening. If you can't make the virtual sales meeting, you can read through your emails and see what's happening. But it's the way it should be now, I believe, where it's up to you. There's no more of someone like, come on, let's hold your hands and do this together, walk you through step by step and explain, kind of spoon feed you everything. It's more of empowering you to get connected and find the places where you can find this information. So if you find yourself stuck in one single method of learning, when that method, if and when, we live in a world of change is always happening, but if and when that change occurs and you haven't been preparing yourself, it's going to come like a whirlwind, and you're going to lose time and energy and effort just trying to start from scratch when everyone else is always like already, maybe a step or two ahead of you. Even if you don't make that full dive or that full transition, familiarize yourself with what's happening. Get familiar with different apps, different programs. Patty says her car battery died Saturday night and she had an event on Sunday. Oh my gosh. Uh, Nerve wracking, right? But she was able to get a jump start and unload her car. She parked it, called AAA to install a new battery, and she was on to her event. Options. Yes, Patty, thank you for sharing. AAA was Patty's option. Otherwise, if she had no other means of getting to her event or getting her car repaired, she would have just had to stay home and miss out on that event. And Patty, I hope it was a really great, amazing event, that you met new great people, had some sales, maybe promoted your business to, share the opportunity. But yeah, Patty also says you can post virtual sales meetings to Facebook groups. So, belonging to Facebook groups and, being active in them is something that is really helpful. But if you're not, you're missing out on that option. Another means and method to grow your business if anything happens with, say, a sales meeting or your cell phone or your computer. So sales and meetings are one way, but think about how you promote your business. um, we have so many different ways that you can promote your business, and I love to hear from other representatives and do trainings with other people, because I learned that there's so many ways to promote. Some people do door to door, some people do online social media, some people do belly to belly, some people do parties. There are so many different ways, and I encourage you guys to try every one of them at least once. I personally am not a fan of knocking on doors and talking to people, but I've done it so that, honestly, I did it so that if someone on my team was interested in doing it that way, I would know it so that I would be able to teach them. But, having done it, I've developed that skill so that if anything, I can do it again if I have to. Options. Thinking about how you learn. I I read, I watch videos, I join Facebook groups, I read from other businesses and other companies. I talk to people. I try to get information coming in from a variety of different ways. And yeah, sometimes life can be overwhelming, and it can be a lot of information to absorb, but I don't have to be plugged in and connected 24/7. but I do need to connect with the outer world so that I learn and I grow. Um, I learn through either watching videos, but I also learn through reading. I learn through reading the what's new, but I also learn through reading books and, doing my personal development. And that's how I'm able to come to talk to you guys a lot of times because of I mean, today's chat, for example, was brought about because I was in conversation with other people, talking to them about, their industries, how things are going, how do they work around a variety of problems. And I was able to come up with this topic for discussion with you guys tonight. So think about aspects of your business as well. How do you promote your business? How do you find new customers? How do you find new teammates? How do you deliver your orders? How do you pack your orders? Um, there have been times in my life where I've really had to do a business overhaul and change my systems. What programs do you use on your computer? Are you only desktop? Are you only phone? Are you only tablet? I've sort of tried to use a little bit of everything again because I have people on my team who are using a variety of devices, and I want to be able to walk them through when they need help. But if my computer is down, I know that I could place my order by phone, for example. So I'm not like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Sky is falling. I'm not that person that I was telling you about earlier that I want to avoid because everything is like, danger, danger, warning, it's the end of the world. I can have that fluidity, the flexibility, and the options. So, see chats. Patty said it was a crappy day, but she made enough to pay for the battery and she picked up a bunch of customers. So silver lining on her cloud, her business was able to offset the cost of that battery. If she didn't have that extra income coming in, she would have had to find money for that battery somewhere else. So good job on you, Patty. That sounds like a wonderful day to me. That's something that's worth celebrating. Milagros, she says that she loves door to door. I've also seen Milagros do tailgating events. I've seen her do craft fairs. So Milagros, she's got her eggs in different baskets. She's doing a variety of events. She's literally got her eggs in different baskets because she's like the basket making queen. But she's doing a variety of different things to build and grow her business. Misty, tips for door to door. She has so many people in her city that they look at her like her hair is on fire when she knocks on her door with an Avon brochure. Yeah, Milagros, we're curious. Any tips? For me, I also come from a huge city, New York City. I found that it's easier to do in the suburbs a little bit, but also, smile. Yeah, they might look at you in the beginning like you have your hair on fire, like what are you doing here? But you smile, you share. Sometimes it helps to have beforehand a couple of products that you can demonstrate, maybe some samples that you can leave them with if they can't talk. Sometimes I remember when I was doing it, there was a lady who was watching a baby and she was like, I'm at the door now, but I can't stay here because there's a kid back there. And I was like, okay, no problem. Was able to pass her information. So we weren't able to have a huge conversation where I got her contact information and, or was able to even demonstrate any of the products, but she left with my info. She knew my face and we were able to get in touch later on when she did have the time. Yes. I would say also too, Misty, check out videos online. A lot of times people will share their videos of, um, you know, kind of like a walkthrough as they're going about like a live video, like this is me doing whatever, whatever. Um, those might help as well. Milagro says just do a few when you're delivering products to your customers. That's also a really great segue. I do that as well. If I have a customer in a new area, I'll also kind of stop at the neighbors, like, hey, I'm in your area. I was delivering a brochure or some products um, to one of your neighbors, and I just wanted to introduce myself, leave off a brochure and some samples, in case you were also looking for an Avon representative, or she mentioned that there wasn't an Avon representative in the area, so I would love to service you if you're looking for Avon products or if you're interested in learning about what great new products we have to offer. But be I wouldn't say there's like a spiel that's the same for everyone. Make it yours. Try different things out, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get. Um, but again, Misty, try other things. Don't you don't want door to door, or you don't want any one event, whether it's door to door or tailgating or parties. You don't want any single activity to be your only source, your only way of building your business. So try different things too, and you'll even find, like I did, that by doing other things, you'll get better at different things. So I can do parties because I've done the street events. I have no problem standing up in front of people and having a conversation. If you could talk to people on the street, then talking to people at the front of a room isn't that bad. Milagros also says they'll tell you about their neighbors, and you have a market when you're delivering orders regularly. Great, thank you, Milagros. Thanks for sharing your tips, our door-to-door lover. And I know a couple of other people on the team are very successful with door-to-door. So try different things, find what works for you, but you won't know unless you do have that variety. And even if you try it and it works very well for you, still, encourage yourself to try something different, try something new, listen to what other representatives are doing, give it a shot. It doesn't hurt. And especially when you kind of know you already have something that's working, you could test those other things without like, if this doesn't work, then it's the end of the world. It's okay. So, all right, guys. So, thank you. Miss Patty gave us a suggestion for something else she's trying. She uses car signs, and she just got a new customer. So, that's something else that you can try to find, to promote your business, to help yourself find new customers. Put signs on your car, put signs in your yard, etc. Misty says when she tailgates with baskets and sample packs, she does great. Um, she's just struggling with the door to door. Misty, awesome. Two things are better than one. Door to door can be sucky while you work on it and try to figure it out, because you're doing well with your tailgating. You have that additional option. So just keep practicing the door to door until you find your niche. And you don't have to be scared about it, because you do have that tailgating. If you go door to door and it's not successful, do some time with the tailgating to make yourself feel better, and make it like, oh, it wasn't only negative stuff for your day. Misty also has the car decal from Town and Country. Awesome. Tailgating tips. Let's see. For me, I actually like tailgating and like outdoor events the most. For tailgating, I like to have a nice display, but not too much product. Why? Because people have sticky fingers, but also because it's more to handle. Patricia, if you look through my channel, there's a video that I did. If you look through the videos, it's me holding a big like tan basket. And I go through some of the things that I have in my basket. In that video, I do share some things that I've done or that I use when I'm tailgating. I try to keep the items minimal, so that, or pre-packaged as well, so that I can go pop open my trunk, set up, put some signs up, and start right away. If it takes me an hour and a half, a lot of times I don't have that amount of time. I can set up and break down in like less than 3 minutes. To the point where sometimes people are like, "You do this a lot, don't you?" My trunk opens and Avon pops out. But what else? I like to use the sample packs when I'm tailgating versus like loose samples, just so that a person can just pick a package. It's got an outlet book, a recruiting flyer, and a sample, as opposed to okay, I want to try this, but I also want to try this, and I want to try these 10 other samples as well. Depending on where you are in my area, sometimes if I'm by myself, or even if it's me and a teammate, sometimes we could have a decent crowd. So I try to streamline as much as possible. I love the see if I can cover this young lady's info. I love these questionnaires, these drawing forms on a clipboard, and I usually will have more than one clipboard, so that if more than one person arrives, I could just kind of do a group discussion and go through the questions with a group of people at once, as opposed to just one person, okay, what's your name? What's your phone number? Next, what's your name? What's your phone number? Usually, when I can do it as a group, sometimes the people will even interact from each other and feed off of each other's excitement. Or, I've had people, strangers, like, yeah, I love Avon. Avon is great. You should sell Avon. And, by encouraging the crowd, it's really good. If you can find someone to even keep you company, that's also great. An extra pair of eyes to keep their eye on stuff. Um, Things like that. Do you just randomly park in a parking lot? I'm going to be honest with you, I don't. I am how do I put it? I'm anal. I go and I scope out a place. So what I would normally do before I set up for an event is I'll go to the place on the same day and the same time that I would like to do a tailgating event, and just kind of sit for a minute and scope the area out, see where the flow of traffic is. How do people walk when they're walking by? How do they drive their cars? I've gone to areas where I've set up and said to myself, you know what, do not put your car there because they will come and knock your doors off. So I like to go to the area beforehand and just kind of scope it out. You might even want to go before to see if you could speak with the owner. Sometimes I like to partner with the owner so that the owner of the establishment or a business in the area. Why? Because, and I like to do pizzerias and places where I can eat, because, what if I need a bathroom, or what if one of my teammates needs a bathroom? Where are the bathrooms? Where are the places where we can wash our hands? Little things like that that you may not think about. If you've got a magic bus like Milagros, washing your hands and stuff like that may not be a problem. But for me, if I'm going to be out all day, where can I go to get a drink of water or a cup of coffee if I need to? You're talking to people, you could pack for yourself, but sometimes I just want to go and grab something. Or even if I have packed and I've gone through, a bunch of bottles of water, where can I go when I need to go? So I also look at, where do I normally go? What does my normal routine look like? Where do I shop? Where do I do my hair? Where do I do my nails? Where do my other customers live? So I try to find areas that I'm kind of already going to, because I want to be able to go back and service those customers. I found for myself, at least, again, it's different for everyone, if I go so far out of my way, when I do find a customer, if I have to deliver, if they're not, if they don't want to order online and I have to deliver, or if they place their order with me and I have to go back to deliver, I kind of wonder, it, will I it's like, it doesn't make sense for me to drive 2 hours out of my way to set up, unless I'm going there to work with a representative in the area, or I'm partnering with another rep or whatever. But that's good. Unless I'm going there regularly, it may not make sense. In my area, parking's another thing I have to watch out for. Are the meter maids really active in the area? So I kind of go and I kind of scope those things out. But yeah, you kind of, for tailgating, you kind of do set up, maybe put your signs up, or signs on your car if there's nowhere to put them. I know Milagros will stick them in the ground in Florida. Here in New York, there's no ground; it's concrete. So little things like that. If you have signs to stick in the ground, does the place that you're going to have ground? If not, you've got to find a workaround. But yeah, you go, you set up, you put up the signs. Usually the signs will draw people in, but you might be in a situation where it's more verbal. So for me, that's why I like to go to scope it out ahead of time, so I can kind of plan what materials I need and kind of prepare myself for how I'm going to work. Sometimes you go and you set up in one place, and then you realize the flow of traffic is across the street. Everybody's going that way. Sometimes you go and you pick the most like busiest area where everybody's walking, but you realize that because everybody's walking so quickly, no one can really get a chance to stop and talk to you. So Patty, play around with it, but be open to experimentation, be open to trying variety and different things. And yeah, just be friendly, talk to people. I've had instances where I've gone and I've set up in a place where someone came out like, you don't belong here. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, who do I speak to about belonging here? How do I go about that process? Is there any other way that I can volunteer my time and services? Maybe partner with a business? Do you have any events coming up? Because Avon is a big supporter of breast cancer awareness and speaking out against domestic violence. Is there another way that we can, make this work? So, go into it with the open mind. Be prepared for almost anything, but at the end of the day, have fun with it. And what works for one person may not work for you, and you won't know unless you try different things. If unless you try different locations, on different days at different times with different people. So have fun with it, Patty. You've got great personality. You seem like, a wonderful person. Wherever you go, they will love you, and that's what's most important. So, any other questions? You guys had some really great questions, and I'm so glad to see that you guys are interested and open to trying different things and getting out of your comfort zone, because that's where it's at. So, guys, put those eggs in different baskets. It's scary at first to take your little egg out of your main basket, but when you do start to spread them out and take a look at them, it will give you so much comfort, so much peace of mind. We all want to be like my friend who's just like purse ready, ready to go out of here. So any more questions about anything that you were wondering about or would like to know more about, or any ideas that you guys would like to share, any personal experience of where I know a lot of you have quit your full-time jobs to do Avon. Wouldn't have been able to do that if you didn't have that part-time side hustle plan B. I know many people are able to, take their kids out on the weekends, to take holidays and take vacations. I've been able to cut my hours down from working 5 days a week to four. Love it. Cannot tell you how much, to the point where sometimes they're like, "Do you want to come in?" I'm like, "No, no, 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 no." Not doing it. But my Avon business gives me that flexibility to do that. How about you guys? What flexibility, does your business give you? Jessica. Okay, I said ask any question. Tips on Maui, how to get there. Milagros. Work, 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 work. Girl, I would love to get to Maui as well. Um, that is one question I cannot give you a straight answer for. I would say it is a culmination of everything we talk about. Consistency. Millie says tailgating is the best way to reach your local market. Yeah, I really enjoy tailgating. For me, that's my favorite. Misty, yeah, great answer, Misty. Hard work, determination, commitment, consistency, follow up, all of everything. And good timing, a little bit like a pinch of good luck. It's a recipe for Milagros. That question was for you. Thank you, Anitra. Thank you for joining me. Um, Millie says create a schedule for your business. Yes. Jessica, all of the above, all of the above, all of the above. Yeah, great. That's a great point though, Milagros. Don't look at daily results. Just, again, put your nose to the grindstone. Yes. Okay, that is the last time I say ask any question ever again. All right, lovelies. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I've enjoyed our conversation as always. And we will be back here next week, same time, same place. So save the link or subscribe. This little face right here in the corner. Click that, subscribe. If you're on your phone or a tablet, there's a little bell. Click it, ring that bell, subscribe, so that whenever we are doing these live videos, you will get an alert and you won't have to miss it. Plus, you can always come back here after I shut down here. Um, There will be a recording posted live. It is public. So if you know of anyone you would like to share it with, or if you would like to share on your social media, shout out to all of you guys who share and invite. I love the family, the camaraderie, and I love that we're always growing. And I love getting to meet and talk to new people. Go ahead and do that. It will be live right after this. Well, not right after. It takes a little while to upload. Give me a minute. But the live video will be posted. If you are subscribed, you will see it in my list of videos and you will get a notification as well. So I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. Also follow Avon by Georgiana because I do post reminders on Facebook of whenever we're going to have our event. So see you guys next Tuesday. Thank you for joining and thank you for making this conversation great. Had a good time too, Malaga. She got kicked out of her computer. But I see you're on a different what do you call it, username right now. So Millie diversified. She had 2 usernames. Just in case she gets kicked off from her computer, she's got her plan B, her backup, she's got her options. All right, guys, thank you for joining. Have a great evening, and I'll see you next week. Keep track of your wins, keep winning, and keep sharing and acknowledging the things that you're accomplishing because we are doing great things, and we need to recognize that. So have a great day, guys. See you.